You light a candle, speak your intention, visualize the outcome, and wait. Sound like a spell? Or a manifestation technique? What if the only difference between a manifestation ritual and a spell is the name? In this video, we will explore how witchcraft and the law of attraction are the same energy in different packaging. Hello, I'm Zihada, and this is where I share everything I'm learning about witchcraft, the occult, and esoteric studies. A study group for all of us still figuring it out together. When most people hear witchcraft and the law of attraction, they imagine two completely different worlds. One seems old, candles, chants, and rituals whispered under moonlight. The other feels modern, vision boards, affirmations, and manifesting your best life. But here's a thought worth exploring together. What if they're not opposites at all? What if they're simply two languages trying to describe the same human impulse, to shape reality through will, emotion, and belief? At the heart of both witchcraft and the law of attraction lies one simple truth. What we focus on expands. In witchcraft, it's called raising energy through intention, directing the mind and spirit toward a specific goal. In the law of attraction, it's described as aligning vibration with desire. Different language, same principle. Both begin with a clearly defined intention. When a witch lights a candle for prosperity, they're concentrating their will on that outcome. When someone practices manifestation, they're doing the same thing, visualizing abundance until it feels real. In both traditions, the mind rehearses the success before the physical world catches up. Spoken words play a role too. In a spell, a practitioner might repeat a chant or declaration like, "Opportunity flows to me now." In manifestation, the modern equivalent is an affirmation. "I am open to new possibilities." Both rely on the vibration of words to reinforce belief. Then there's symbolic action, what anthropologists call sympathetic magic. The witch surrounds themselves with symbols that mirror their desire, colors, herbs, or charms chosen for their resonance. The manifester surrounds themselves with visual cues, a vision board, journal entries, or an inspiring environment. Each is a physical reminder that keeps the intention alive. And finally, emotion, the spark that powers everything. Neither spells nor manifestation techniques work on empty words. They depend on feeling the wish fulfilled, the gratitude, joy, and certainty that the outcome already exists in potential. Whether that energy is called raising a cone of power or vibrational alignment, the message is the same. Belief, emotion, and focus shape reality. For many people who've practiced the law of attraction, like myself, the excitement eventually dulls. The vision boards are still there, but the spark fades. I started to wonder if maybe the universe has gone quiet, or if I'm just repeating techniques by habit. And that's when curiosity turned toward witchcraft. Witchcraft feels tangible. It gives form to energy, candles to light, herbs to touch, symbols to hold. It reawakens the sense that creation is not just mental, but living. And beneath that curiosity is something simple, a longing to feel wonder again, to see the sacred hidden in ordinary moments. And that's what draws people like you to this conversation. Not to escape life, but to rediscover the feeling that life itself can be magical again. If we look beyond modern spirituality, we'll find that the idea of shaping reality through intention isn't new at all. It's one of the oldest instincts humanity has ever had. Across Europe, folk healers once practiced sympathetic magic, that is, doing something symbolic to invite a result. Farmers jumped high in their fields to help crops grow tall. Cunning folk burned candles or carved puppets to focus their will. In the African diaspora, traditions such as hoodoo, voodoo, and Santeria blended ancestral wisdom with new worlds. Writing a petition, lighting a candle, or offering food to a spirit were all ways of giving form to desire. Manifestation through devotion and relationship. Among Indigenous and First Nations peoples, ritual often carried a communal purpose. Rain dances, healing songs, and offerings to the earth. These ceremonies mirrored the outcome they sought. Dancing as if the rain were already falling, singing as if the healing had already come. And throughout Asia, practices like feng shui, mantras, pujas, and talismans served the same function. Each arranged space, sound, or symbol to align human life with unseen harmony is just another form of manifestation through energy and intention. Different continents, different languages. Yet every culture found its own way to say the same thing. Our inner world and outer world are not separate. To act with intention is to participate in creation itself. If the past shows how universal the urge to manifest has always been, the present shows how easily those traditions blend. In today's world, the boundaries between witchcraft and the law of attraction have almost dissolved. On social media, you'll see sigils beside affirmations, lunar journals beside manifestation planners. Many modern practitioners draw from both. They'll script goals on the new moon, charge crystals under its light, and speak affirmations in the same breath. Others approach it psychologically, viewing spells and manifestations as tools to reprogram the subconscious mind. Whether framed as energy work or mental training, the process is identical. Clarify, visualize, believe, and act. It's proof that spirituality evolves with us. Each generation reimagines the way we communicate with the unseen, and in doing so, keeps the art of creation alive. Of course, blending doesn't mean sameness. Witchcraft and the law of attraction often move in parallel, but they don't share every belief. Traditional witchcraft is built on relationship with nature, with spirits, with deities, and with the elements themselves. Its rituals are conversations with a living cosmos. Lighting a candle not only focuses intention, but honors fire as a sacred ally. Within witchcraft, ethics vary by tradition. Wiccans often follow principles like the Wiccan Rede or the threefold law, while other paths emphasize balance or personal accountability in their own ways. Manifestation through the law of attraction, on the other hand, usually speaks in universal terms. It describes creation as an impersonal law, energy responding to thought, without requiring any spirits, gods, or ceremonial structure. The law of attraction frames morality around vibration and thought, focusing less on universal law and more on individual alignment. Even the tone differs. A witch might say, "I work with the universe." A manifester might say, "The universe works through me." Both express cooperation with unseen forces, but one feels relational, the other mechanical. Neither view is wrong. They simply illustrate two perspectives on the same mystery. Whether the power we channel is a personal ally or a universal field. Understanding both helps us see how flexible and deeply human this language of creation really is. When we strip away the symbols and look at what's happening beneath both witchcraft and the law of attraction, we find something fascinating. Our minds and bodies are built to respond to intention. Psychologists have studied this for decades. Visualization, for example, activates many of the same neural pathways as real action. That's why athletes who mentally rehearse their sport often improve almost as much as those who physically train. The brain doesn't always distinguish between what we imagine and what we do. It prepares us to make the imagined real. Rituals, too, have measurable effects. Anthropologists note that humans turn to ritual during uncertainty because it lowers anxiety and restores a sense of control. Even if others believe the ritual itself isn't magical, it helps the practitioner feel focused, calm, and ready to act. that change in emotion and confidence can directly influence outcomes. Some researchers describe this as the placebo effect, belief creating measurable physical or behavioral change. Witches might call it raising energy, and manifestors might call it vibrational alignment. Either way, the mechanism is belief transforming behavior. Once we believe something can happen, we start taking steps, consciously or not, to support it. So the sweet spot is intention paired with movement. Visualize the result, then do one thing that makes it real, or act as if. Both witchcraft and manifestation teach this, just in different words: will and work, belief and effort. So whether you view spells as psychology or energy, the conclusion is the same. Focused thought changes perception, emotion, and action, and that combination has real power in the physical world. Maybe that's the truest magic of all. Whenever these topics come up, witchcraft or the law of attraction, certain myths always seem to follow. Let's clear the air a little. The first is the oldest. Witches are evil or worship the devil. That idea comes from centuries of misunderstanding and fear. In reality, most witches don't even believe in the devil, which is a Christian concept. Many honor nature, ancestors, or divine forces through balance and respect. The craft, in all its forms, is far more about connection than corruption. Another myth claims that the law of attraction is either fully proven science or total nonsense. The truth is neither. There isn't scientific evidence that our thoughts literally send magnetic waves into the universe. Some people point to quantum theory as proof that thoughts directly shape reality. But quantum theory describes how particles behave at the subatomic level, not how human intention creates events. But I and many others believe that energy moves in ways science may not yet be able to measure. This is where faith and belief comes in, the understanding that not everything real has to be quantifiable. What science does show is that belief, focus, and emotion influence our behavior, and behavior shapes results. For some, it's not physics, it's psychology, and that doesn't make it any less powerful. You choose which belief resonates with you and your craft. A third myth is that magic produces instant dramatic results. Real magic and real manifestation tend to be quieter than that. They work through synchronicities, small choices, and natural timing. You won't see lightning bolts, but you might notice doors opening in unexpected places. And finally, the myth that if something doesn't manifest, you did it wrong. Both witchcraft and manifestation agree that outcomes depend on timing, readiness, and alignment. Sometimes the answer is not yet, or not this way. It isn't punishment, it's perspective. When we let go of these old myths, the conversation opens into something richer and far more human. Magic and manifestation stop being about superstition or ego and start being what they were always meant to be: tools for understanding our relationship with the unseen and with ourselves. One of the hardest lessons in both witchcraft and manifestation is learning when to act and when to release. We often mistake control for power, gripping tightly to every detail, trying to force the outcome. But true power isn't about pressure, it's about partnership. Both paths remind us that intention must be paired with surrender. You set your focus, you take aligned steps, and then you trust the current to carry what you've set in motion. In witchcraft, this is called letting the spell unfold. In the law of attraction, it's releasing resistance. Different words for the same wisdom. Once your energy is clear, you have to allow life to respond. That balance between will and trust, effort and ease, is where the real magic lies. It's the space where creation feels natural instead of forced, where you stop chasing and start aligning, and reality begins to meet you halfway. When we step back and look at everything we've explored, the pattern is clear. From the witch's circle to the manifestor's journal, people have always sought the same thing: to take what's felt in the heart and weave it into the world. Witchcraft and the law of attraction use different tools and languages, but both affirm that our thoughts, emotions, and actions matter. They remind us that creation isn't something that only happens to us, it happens through us. You don't have to choose one label or path. You can light a candle and visualize your goal. You can speak affirmations and still believe in the rhythm of the moon. Because the deeper truth is that all of it, every prayer, every spell, every moment of focused faith, comes from the same creative current that connects us to something greater. Maybe that's what humanity has always been doing, learning new ways to describe the same mystery of consciousness, energy, and love in motion. So, whether you call it magic or mindset, remember, you are already participating in creation every single day. And the more aware you become of that power, the more beautifully you can shape the story of your life. If this made you curious about how these ideas first took root, this video dives into the earliest traces of magical practice around the world. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in this next video.